Anna Moore was a force to be reckoned with. A journalist with an insatiable thirst for the truth, she dove headfirst into forgotten corners of the world, armed with her trusty notepad and a vintage Polaroid camera. Her colleagues at the newspaper often joked about her fascination with the macabre, but Anna knew that some stories deserved to be unearthed, no matter how unsettling. These were the stories of the forgotten, the whispers in the dead of night that sent shivers down your spine. Anna had a knack for uncovering the unusual, the hidden narratives buried beneath layers of time and neglect. She was drawn to the abandoned, the desolate, the places where echoes of the past lingered like ghosts in the shadows. It was during one of her late-night research sessions, her desk cluttered with faded newspaper clippings and dusty microfilms, that she stumbled upon the story of Sunny Breeze Sanatorium. The image that flickered to life on the microfilm reader sent a chill down her spine. It was a picture of the sanatorium in its prime, a sprawling complex of pristine white buildings bathed in sunshine. But something about the image felt off. The smiles of the patients and staff seemed strained, their eyes holding a distant, haunted look. Anna felt an inexplicable tug, an urge to know more about the stories held captive within those decaying walls. This was more than just another story. This was a mystery begging to be unraveled. Sunny Breeze Sanatorium, as it was optimistically named, had a history as checkered as its now crumbling facade. Built in the 1920s, it was initially hailed as a beacon of hope for those suffering from tuberculosis, a place where the sick could find respite and a chance at recovery. The sanatorium quickly gained a reputation for its innovative treatments and compassionate care, attracting patients from all corners of the state. Anna, poring over old newspaper articles and grainy photographs, felt a pang of sadness for the lives touched by both hope and despair within those walls. But over time, whispers began to circulate, casting a long shadow over the sanatorium's once sterling reputation. Stories of strange occurrences, unexplained accidents, and patients disappearing without a trace began to surface. The vibrant colors of hope and healing began to fade, replaced by a chilling pallor of fear and uncertainty. Local newspapers, once eager to sing the praises of Sunny Breeze, now published hesitant articles filled with vague accounts of unsettling events. Anna delved deeper, uncovering court documents and personal testimonies that hinted at something sinister lurking beneath the surface of Sunny Breeze. There were accounts of medical experiments, unethical treatments, and patients subjected to horrific conditions. The more Anna learned, the more she realized that the truth was far more disturbing than the whispers suggested. Sunny Breeze was not just a place of healing, it was a breeding ground for something dark and insidious. By the 1980s, Sunny Breeze Sanatorium had become a ghost of its former self. The once grand building stood decrepit and abandoned, its windows boarded up like vacant eyes staring out at the world. The vibrant orange and blue hues of the decade clashed sharply with the building's now muted grays. A visual representation of the optimism of the era colliding with the grim reality that Sunny Breeze had become. The laughter of children playing in the courtyard was replaced by the mournful sigh of the wind whistling through broken window panes. Anna, standing before the imposing structure, felt a chill run down her spine. The air hung heavy with an oppressive silence, broken only by the distant cawing of crows circling overhead. The once pristine white walls were now stained with the passage of time, the paint peeling like scabs, revealing the rot beneath. The sanatorium stood as a stark reminder of the fleeting nature of hope, a testament to the darkness that can fester even in the brightest of places. She stepped cautiously through the overgrown weeds and crumbling concrete, her hand hovering over the Polaroid camera slung around her neck. She could almost hear the echoes of laughter and screams, the shuffling of feet, and the desperate pleas for help. The stories she had uncovered weighed heavily on her mind, fueling her determination to uncover the truth. Anna Moore had stepped into a mystery, and she was determined to see it through to the end, no matter the cost. A rusted gate marked the entrance to Sunny Breeze Sanatorium. Anna pushed the gate open, the metal groaning. Gravel crunched beneath her boots. The oppressive humidity was palpable. She raised her Polaroid camera and snapped a picture. The camera whirred, spitting out the photo. The sanatorium loomed large, its vacant windows staring back. Anna tucked the photo into her satchel. She stepped across the threshold, the air inside colder. Dust motes danced in the faint rays of sunlight. The air was thick with mildew and dust. A shiver ran down Anna's spine. She ignored it, her curiosity outweighing her unease. This was her element, the thrill of the unknown. She took a deep breath, steeling herself. The silence pressed in, amplifying her heartbeat. The main corridor stretched before her, a seemingly endless tunnel of shadows and dust. Sunlight struggled to penetrate the grime-coated windows, casting the hallway in a perpetual twilight. Anna ran her hand along the peeling wallpaper, its once vibrant floral pattern now faded and obscured by time and neglect. She could almost see the ghosts of nurses and patients, their images imprinted on the very fabric of the building. The silence was broken only by the soft thud of her own footsteps, each one echoing down the corridor. Anna crouched down, carefully sifting through the scattered papers. Most were mundane medical records, their contents rendered meaningless by time. But then her fingers brushed against something different. A small leather-bound journal tucked beneath a pile of dusty files. She gently lifted it, its worn cover cool to the touch. The journal's pages were filled with elegant cursive handwriting, the ink faded but still legible. Day 15, the experiments continue. Patient 3B shows remarkable improvement. Dr. Miller remains skeptical, but I'm confident that we are on the verge of a breakthrough. Anna's heart pounded in her chest. Experiments? What kind of experiments were conducted within these walls? She flipped through the journal, her eyes scanning the pages, searching for answers. The entries became more erratic, the handwriting more frantic, as if the author's grip on sanity was slipping away. Day 27, the patients are becoming agitated. Their screams echo through the halls at night, a chorus of madness. I fear we have gone too far, unleashed something we cannot control. The words sent a chill down Anna's spine. What had they unleashed within these walls? What darkness had taken root in this place of supposed healing? She could almost hear the echoes of those screams, feel the despair that clung to every inch of the sanatorium. The air seemed to crackle with a strange energy, as if the very walls themselves were whispering secrets, urging her to delve deeper into the mystery. The hair on the back of her neck stood on end. She wasn't alone. A feeling of dread washed over her, cold and suffocating. She slowly looked up from the journal, her heart pounding in her ears. The shadows in the room seemed to deepen, as if something was watching her, its presence malevolent and unseen. Anna cautiously pushed herself away from the doctor's desk, her eyes scanning the room for the source of her unease. She saw nothing out of place, yet the feeling of being watched intensified, prickling at the back of her neck. She knew with a certainty that sent a shiver down her spine that she was not alone within those decaying walls. Something else was present, something unseen but keenly aware of her every move. Taking a deep breath to steady her nerves, Anna tucked the leather-bound journal into her satchel. its weight a tangible reminder of the secrets held within Sunny Breeze. She exited Dr. Collins's office, her footsteps echoing in the silent hallway. The air felt heavier now, laden with a palpable sense of dread that seemed to cling to her like cobwebs. She continued her exploration, drawn deeper into the labyrinthine corridors of the sanatorium. She passed rooms with rusted bed frames and torn mattresses, the remnants of lives interrupted, dreams shattered within those forgotten spaces. Anna imagined the patients who had once occupied those rooms, their faces etched with a mixture of hope and despair, their bodies ravaged by disease and neglect. In one room, she found a child's doll lying discarded on the floor, its porcelain face cracked, one eye missing and staring vacantly into the gloom. Anna picked it up, her fingers tracing the cold, smooth surface. A wave of sadness washed over her, the weight of the forgotten child's pain almost unbearable. What had become of them, she wondered, their laughter and tears now nothing but fading echoes within those desolate walls. Anna's exploration led her deeper into the heart of Sunny Breeze Sanatorium, each room she encountered revealing another layer of the building's tragic past. She found herself in what was once the children's ward, the walls adorned with faded murals of playful animals and storybook characters, a cruel mockery of the darkness that had permeated the very air within those walls. The silence here was different, heavier somehow, punctuated by an almost imperceptible whisper that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. Anna strained to identify the sound, her heart pounding in her ears. It was a child's voice, high-pitched and filled with a mixture of laughter and sobs, a haunting melody that sent chills down her spine. She pressed on, her footsteps echoing on the cold linoleum floor. The air grew colder, the musty odor of decay intensifying. She stumbled upon a room at the end of the hallway, its door slightly ajar. A faint light flickered within, casting dancing shadows that stretched out like beckoning fingers. Curiosity, mixed with a growing sense of unease, compelled her forward. As she pushed the door open, the flickering light resolved itself into a single bare bulb, hanging precariously from a frayed wire. The room was sparsely furnished, containing only a few chairs arranged in a circle and a low table in the center. On the table lay a scattering of toys, wooden blocks, a tea set, a worn teddy bear missing an eye. The air was thick with the scent of dust and something else, something metallic and vaguely sweet, like the aftermath of a child's forgotten candy. The room felt strangely familiar to Anna. Then it struck her. This was the room in the old photograph she had found, the recreation room of Sunny Breeze Sanatorium. But the joy in that image was now a distant memory. Anna moved closer to the table, her fingers hovering over the scattered toys. She noticed a small wooden puppet theater tucked away in the corner. Its paint was chipped and faded. The curtains were drawn, concealing the stage within. A strange compulsion drew her towards it. She felt an urge to see what lay hidden behind the curtains. Ignoring warnings, her curiosity took over. Anna reached out and drew back the curtains. The stage was dimly lit, revealing a scene frozen in time. Two puppets dressed in tattered clothing hung limply from their strings. One was a king, his crown askew. The other was a jester, his smile a grotesque parody of joy. Between them lay a third puppet, lifeless, its eyes vacant. A cold wave of dread washed over Anna. The faint, sweet smell intensified, the odor of decay. She stumbled back, her heart pounding. This was more than just a forgotten plaything. This was a tableau of horror, a testament to the darkness that had consumed Sunny Breeze Sanatorium. Back at her makeshift workstation, Anna meticulously laid out the artifacts she'd collected. The room, once a sanctuary for knowledge, was now bathed in the eerie glow of her lantern. Dust motes danced in the flickering light, caught in the web of Anna's investigation. The Polaroid photographs were fanned out before her, each one a snapshot of decay and despair. The sanatorium's crumbling facade and desolate corridors served as chilling reminders of past horrors. Anna's gaze lingered on the puppet theater, sending shivers down her spine. Next to the photographs lay the leather-bound journal, whispering tales of madness. Anna picked it up, her fingers tracing the faded ink of Dr. Collins's entries. His words had descended into a spiral of desperation and despair. What darkness had taken root in the fertile ground of human suffering? Amongst these mementos, Anna had placed a child's doll, a tarnished silver spoon, and a chipped teacup. These were the remnants of lives lived and lost. Anna studied them intently, her journalist's eye seeking connections and clues. Anna reached for her notepad, her fingers flying across the keys of her vintage typewriter. The rhythmic clatter of the keys filled the silence of the library. She had a knack for organizing chaos into a coherent narrative. But Sunny Breeze was proving elusive, its secrets guarded by time and decay. She reviewed her notes, her brow furrowed in concentration. The sanatorium's history, the rumors of strange occurrences, the unsettling artifacts. Each piece raised more questions. What had happened to the patients of Sunny Breeze? What had become of Dr. Collins and his team? And what was the significance of the puppet theater? Anna's intuition told her she was on the verge of a breakthrough. But as the hours turned into days, unease gnawed at her resolve. The sanatorium seemed to close in around her, its silence oppressive. She felt watched, the rustle of leaves, the creak of floorboards. Fear tightened its grip on her chest, but Anna refused to surrender to it. She had come too far to turn back now. As the sun began its final descent, casting long shadows across the library floor, Anna reached for her camera bag. She had one more room to explore before darkness enveloped Sunny Breeze. The room was in the sanatorium's east wing, untouched by time. According to the blueprints, it was a private suite for Mrs. Eleanor van der Linde. Anna saved this room for last, drawn by a strange premonition. The room's isolation and melancholy intrigued and unsettled her. She felt the secrets of Sunny Breeze lay within its decaying confines. With a deep breath, Anna picked up her lantern and stepped into the hallway. The air grew colder, her footsteps echoing on the wooden floor. The hallway was lined with portraits, their eyes following her every move. As she walked past Mrs. van der Linde's portrait, Anna felt judged. At the end of the hallway stood the door to Mrs. van der Linde's suite. Anna paused, her hand hovering over the tarnished brass doorknob. Her heart pounded in her chest, a drumbeat of anticipation and dread. This was it, the moment of truth, the culmination of her investigation. With a final breath, she turned the doorknob and stepped inside. The door clicked shut behind her, plunging her into darkness. The air was thick with dust and decay and a faint, sweet odor. It was the same smell she had noticed in the children's ward. Anna froze, her breath catching in her throat. She was not alone. Anna had always been drawn to the whispers, the half-told tales that sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to utter them. She knew that behind every local legend, every ghost story whispered around a campfire, there was often a kernel of truth, a story waiting to be unearthed. And Sunny Breeze Sanatorium, with its history of tragedy and neglect, was fertile ground for such tales. She had spent the afternoon in the small town nearest to the sanatorium, its quaint facade a stark contrast to the unsettling aura of Sunny Breeze. The townsfolk, initially hesitant to speak ill of the past, eventually opened up to her, their words hesitant at first, then tumbling over each other in a torrent of hushed voices and knowing glances. "There's a darkness there," an elderly woman had confided in her voice barely a whisper above the clatter of dishes in the local diner. "Always has been." Even when the sanatorium was open, folks said strange things happened there, patients disappearing, lights flickering, screams in the night. They said the woods surrounding the sanatorium were haunted, that the trees themselves whispered secrets of the dead. Anna listened intently, her journalist instincts on high alert. She had heard similar tales from others, stories of unexplained noises, cold spots, and the feeling of being watched. Some dismissed them as the ramblings of superstitious minds. But Anna knew better. She had felt the unsettling energy of Sunny Breeze firsthand, the sense that she was walking a tightrope between the world of the living and something else, something ancient and malevolent. One story in particular piqued her interest. The locals called it Whispering Pines Lake, a deceptively tranquil name for a place steeped in unsettling lore. They say the lake is cursed, a grizzled old fisherman had told her. Back in the sanatorium's heyday, a young nurse drowned there. Some say she was driven mad, others whisper foul play. Whatever the truth, the fisherman's words sent a shiver down Anna's spine. The image of the young nurse haunted her thoughts. She had seen the lake, its surface as still as ice. It was a place of secrets, where the past lingered like a ghost. But it was the story of the disappearances that truly chilled Anna to the bone. According to local legend, the lake was not the only place where people went missing. Over the years, several patients had vanished from Sunny Breeze, their departures shrouded in mystery. Some had simply wandered off, their minds ravaged by illness or despair. Others, however, seemed to have vanished without a trace, their belongings left behind as if they had stepped into thin air. They say the sanatorium itself takes them. A young waitress had whispered, her eyes wide with fear, her voice barely audible above the hum of the diner's neon sign. The walls, the woods, the very air itself, they hold on to those who have suffered within their embrace. They say that if you listen closely at night, you can still hear their whispers, their cries for help echoing through the trees. Anna had thanked the waitress, her mind racing with possibilities. She had uncovered evidence of unethical experiments conducted at Sunny Breeze, of patients subjected to horrific treatments in the name of medical advancement. Was it possible, she wondered, that some of those patients had met a more sinister fate, their disappearances conveniently swept under the rug, their stories buried along with the secrets of Sunny Breeze? As she drove back to the sanatorium, the setting sun casting long, distorted shadows across the winding road, Anna couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. The stories she had heard, the whispers of darkness and despair, clung to her like cobwebs, fueling her determination to uncover the truth. Sunny Breeze Sanatorium had swallowed countless souls, their stories lost to time and neglect. Anna was determined to give them a voice, to shed light on the darkness that had consumed them, even if it meant confronting the shadows herself. The air in Mrs. Vanderlyn's suite was heavy with forgotten memories. Anna moved cautiously through the room. The faint light from her lantern illuminated a plush armchair, a vanity table, and a four-poster bed. Anna ran her fingers along the dusty surface of a writing desk. A thick layer of dust covered everything. She could almost see Mrs. Vanderlyn, her fingers flying across the keys of a typewriter. Anna's gaze fell upon something lying on the floor beneath the desk. It was a book, its leather cover cracked and faded. She bent down to pick it up, her fingers brushing against something cold and metallic. A shiver ran down her spine as she realized it was a vintage Polaroid land camera. The camera was heavier than she expected. She traced the engraved initials. AM. Anna's heart skipped a beat. These were her initials. A cold wave of dread washed over her. She was not alone in Sunny Breeze. With trembling hands, Anna opened the camera, her fingers fumbling with the unfamiliar latch. Inside, she found a partially used pack of Polaroid film, its expiration date long past. She carefully removed the film pack, her mind racing with questions. Who was this other Anna Moore? What had brought her to Sunny Breeze? And why had she left her camera behind, abandoned in this dusty room? Anna dug deeper into the desk, her fingers sifting through old letters, postcards, and faded photographs, each one a fragment of a life she was desperate to understand. The letters, written in a flowing, elegant hand, spoke of a woman named Anna Moore, a journalist from a nearby city who had come to Sunny Breeze to write an article about the sanatorium and its history. The postcards, sent from various locations around the world, painted a picture of a woman with a thirst for adventure, a woman who had seemingly vanished without a trace. Amongst the letters and postcards, Anna found a small, leather-bound notebook, its pages filled with handwritten notes and sketches. She recognized the handwriting instantly. It was the same handwriting she had seen in the journal belonging to Dr. Collins. But these notes were different, more frantic, more desperate. They spoke of strange occurrences, of unexplained noises, of a growing sense of dread that permeated the very air of Sunny Breeze. As Anna read through the notebook, her heart pounded in her chest. She felt a chilling connection to this other Anna Moore, a shared sense of purpose, a mutual fascination with the darkness that had consumed Sunny Breeze. But there was something else, too, a sense of foreboding, a premonition that she was walking in the footsteps of a ghost, that her own fate might be inextricably linked to the woman who had come before her. Anna spent hours piecing together Anna Moore's story. The other Anna had arrived at Sunny Breeze months ago, drawn by rumors and legends. She researched the sanatorium's history, capturing images of decay. Then the letters stopped. The notebook entries became erratic. The last entry read, "They're here, they're watching me." Anna closed the notebook, her heart pounding. What had happened to the other Anna Moore? Had she uncovered something sinister? And what did her final words mean? "They're here." Anna heard a noise from the hallway. It was a soft sound like fabric against wood. She froze, her breath catching. The noise came again, closer, like footsteps. Anna reached for her camera, her heart pounded in her ears. She held her breath as the footsteps stopped. The tapping continued, more insistent. Anna took a deep breath, finger on the shutter. She had come seeking answers, but some questions are better left unanswered. She backed away, searching for an escape, but there was nowhere to go. She was trapped. Suddenly, the door burst open, revealing nothing. The hallway was empty, bathed in moonlight. Anna lowered her camera, heart pounding. Had she imagined the noises? Then she saw it, a single Polaroid photograph, freshly developed. Anna cautiously picked it up. The image was blurry, distorted, but it was her. The words, "The story isn't over," appeared on the photo. The camera's flash charged, lighting the room. "The story isn't over." The Polaroid slipped from Anna's grasp, fluttering to the floor like a fallen leaf. The image, a haunting reflection of herself, amplified the silence. The camera's flash cast long, distorted shadows that danced across the walls. Anna backed away, her heart pounding. The air, thick with dust, seemed to close in around her. This was not just a story, but a descent into darkness. The sanatorium felt more alive than ever. The creaking floorboards whispered a symphony of sorrow. Anna could almost feel their presence, a cold touch on her neck. They were there, lurking in the shadows. She had come seeking answers but found more questions. The other Anna Moore had become a ghost, her story a cautionary tale. As Anna stared at the Polaroid, she realized she might share her namesake's fate. The drive back to the city was a blur, the headlights of Anna's car cutting through the darkness like a knife. She couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, of unseen eyes following her every move. The stories she had heard, the artifacts she had found, the Polaroid lying on the floor of Mrs. van der Lin's suite, all replayed in her mind. She tried to rationalize her fear, to attribute the strange occurrences to her overactive imagination. But deep down, a primal instinct whispered a warning, a certainty that something sinister had been awakened within those decaying walls. The police dismissed Anna Moore's disappearance as another tragic case of curiosity. The sanatorium, they said, was a magnet for the lost and desperate. The locals, however, knew better. They whispered tales of a curse, of a darkness that consumed those who delved too deeply. The sanatorium stood silent, its vacant windows staring out at the world. Its decaying walls held tight to the secrets of those who had perished within. The wind howled through the broken window panes, echoing the cries of the forgotten. And what of the other Anna Moore, the journalist who vanished? Did she find the answers she sought within those decaying walls? Or did she become another victim of Sunny Breeze's insatiable hunger? The unanswered questions lingered, a chilling reminder that some mysteries are better left unsolved. The story of Sunny Breeze Sanatorium remained a haunting enigma, a testament to the enduring power of fear and the allure of the unknown. The story, it seemed, was far from over. It was a story that would continue to be told, whispered around campfires, passed down from generation to generation, a chilling reminder that some places hold on to their secrets long after the world has forgotten.